The road to Saturday and Sunday began with Monday Night Raw. It had some ups, it had some downs. Let's talk about WWE's flagship show as we head into a very busy weekend for them. So, yes, boy, I need to fade that out better. So, we, again, getting ready for a busy weekend in wrestling. Want to remind you, we'll get into a little bit more, but for just wrestling talk, you can subscribe to the Living Room Lariat podcast. Let's get into Raw as we start the show with what they call in post wrestling, and I can't get that out of my head now. The Seth Riders. This team needs a name. At some point, we all, like, we're not necessarily dressing the same again, but everyone is on the same page. It is obviously a faction. Factions need team names. I need a team name for these guys. Minor thing. But I do like that Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed now get some mic time. Because ultimately, the point of a faction like this is to get a main event spotlight on guys who you are trying to build into that, but maybe aren't ready for the main event yet. And the best way to do that is to give them reps like this. And so Bron Breakker, again, I am going to say this every week. I may as well just copy and paste it into the Raw recap next week. Bron Breakker looks like a star. I love that, Conrad. Yeah, they just did the Dunks and Destruction pack, the DLC for WWE 2K25 with a bunch of basketball guys in it. Let's get LeBron in there now too, and call these guys LeBrons. Love it. Lock that in, Conrad. Always awesome having you in the chat, sir. Bron Breakker comes across like a star. Like, just the promo where he's like, I hate his music and his face and all these different things. Like, if that, like, drive by here, but if Ricochet cut that promo, it seems lame, right? But there's just something about this guy who is more tanned than a human being should be, certainly more muscular than most human beings are, just yelling about things that he hates about this otherwise very likable human being in Sami Zayn. So I think that there's just an it factor to this guy. And it feels like lazy analysis, but there is. You just, like, he passes that airport test where if he walked by, he's like, oh, that's a something. I don't know what, but he is a something. And he gets on the mic and you're just captivated by him. Bronson, at this point, he's not quite there yet, but he is getting some chances too, and I like that. And obviously, a lot of his charisma is physical in what he can do in the ring. I also love that one, Big John. Bronze over brains. That is very good. You could even do like bronze and brains if you want, because Seth Rollins is the revolutionary architect guy. Yeah. Bronze and brains and bronze, something along those lines. We're working on it here, but a couple excellent suggestions, and way better than anything I could come up with. The one thing I didn't like about this promo segment is that Rollins didn't have a chance to say anything, which, if you are a longtime consumer of my content, you will know that Seth Rollins not talking is not necessarily a downside for me. I am not a fan of the promo style of him. There's just something about it that takes me out. So him not cutting a promo doesn't necessarily break my heart, except he's in one of 3 matches that's scheduled for Saturday night's main event. Could we not have mentioned that in our opening promo when we're talking about ripping people's throats out and vendettas that we have? Like, can we not address that? Everyone's chanting CM Punk. We know that's the match that we are getting to. Like, could you have made this seem like any more of an afterthought? I don't think so. So now look, Knight gets a vignette later in the night, and then he comes out for an attack on Seth Rollins. But yes, this feels very much like killing time for Seth Rollins, and let's just get us to SummerSlam with CM Punk. So it's gonna come up a lot. It is my frustration with all of this weekend happening for WWE. They need a Saturday night's main event quarterly. This falls into the quarter, so I guess. Evolution, it's a really great thing that they are doing this. But all of this feels so rushed. None of it feels consequential. All of it feels very skippable from WWE here this weekend. And it all just feels like afterthoughts coming into it, even with an attack to close the show. Conrad in the Twitch chat, it's almost like his dad had the best promo of all time. Promos are obviously genetic. And yes, uncle, not dad, as Conrad would correct there in a second. I can't wait for Bron's Breaker Math promo era. He entered into that pool when he did that with the, what was it, the Triple Threat or the Fatal 4-Way, whatever they did. It was Fatal 4-Way, the Intercontinental Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania. He did his own kind of breaker math, but he is just scratching the surface on that. It was at a countdown thing, so he could kind of workshop it. There is going to be a breaker math on Monday Night Raw that is going to surpass whatever the Scott Steiner one was in TNA. But yes, no, like it is just every little bit is him just kind of scratching the surface right now. Like this guy is going to main event WrestleMania for 100 years now. He is just so good. And then in the match, he destroys Sami Zayn, who again, very likable character. We all love Sami Zayn, but he goes out and just annihilates the dude. And the crowd is chanting one more time, one more time. And Karrion Kross comes from the back before this and attacks Sami Zayn. And the crowd is cheering for Karrion Kross. I feel like in 2025, the massive beatdown is not the way to get a heel over as a heel. Now, Karrion Kross, over. Bron Breakker, over. O-V-E-R, over. But not as bad guys, which is what I think they are going for. So it will be interesting to see where they pivot with this. And I have said, like, this guy, people got a little tired of babyface Bron at the tail end of the NXT run, but I think that there should be something else now with him from a babyface perspective, because I think you have an absolute mega babyface on your hands with this guy right now. And I like I said, sky is the limit with him. Sami now out indefinitely. Will we hear that? Sorry, it looks like we're getting a little laggy here, so I hope everything is all right. Sami out indefinitely. I do think a bit of a break is fine, but he did just come back after WrestleMania. I have been saying for a little bit, this character needs to evolve, so I am hoping that it evolves and it gets better. That is genuinely what I am hoping, because this is not a character right now that feels like it is ready for that championship level. We have just been in this thing for so long with the, oh, I think I can. Oh, maybe I can. Oh, I'm the underdog. Oh, I'm not. Like, it is the same note all the time. And it's a good note. Sami's awesome at it. But there needs to be a little bit more evolution in this. And so I'm hoping that maybe a couple week break leading into SummerSlam gets us this new Sami Zayn attitude that we might be hoping for. Some entertaining stuff with the New Day Mourning the tag team division. I thought that was really, really funny what they did. Another interesting note, though, because this is the second week in a row now, we get a Big E mention on Raw. And I know that it has kind of been the subtext of the whole thing is that these guys turned on Big E in a way that we all hated. And so that is why these are the bad guys now. But they are actually going out and mentioning him now more than they were before. And so I just feel like we are building up to some, not that Big E is going to have a match. Let's get that out of our heads. If he does, it's awesome, but let's not assume. But some kind of a Big E something coming up at SummerSlam with them. That is kind of my prediction of how they are trending. The Becky Bayley Lyra promo. I do like that you're adding just a little bit of a layer to this one with Becky suggesting that maybe Lyra actually wanted Bayley to be taken out at WrestleMania and didn't seem all that upset when it happened. It is better than the, well, you're not talking to me, so thusly, let's wrestle for the Intercontinental Championship. Not really a storyline to really sink your teeth into all that much. The match itself is going to be incredible. And like the promo stuff here isn't bad. It's just some of the beats along the way were a little The one thing I have said before, I think Lyra is very close to being like a star level type. She has all the in-ring ability you could want, and there is some kind of charisma there now that she has stopped pretending she's a bird. But it's still not all the way there, and you could see it this week, because this crowd in Rhode Island was pretty hot. But she comes in, like, Becky does her promo thing, Bayley comes walking out, Lyra, music hits, comes storming past Bayley, says something about Becky being delusional, and that she's going to win her title at Evolution on Sunday. And it was, she may as well have read pause for applause, because she stopped expecting the crowd to go, yeah, get her! And it was nothing. That was a, oh no. Because it was obviously set up as an applause line. She paused as if it was going to be one, and then the crowd paused with her. And that it's not a great sign. That's not great. They've given her quite a bit now. And so I don't think you can just say, oh, well, they haven't given her a whole lot yet. Like, she won the Intercontinental title and has had a lengthy feud now featuring two of the best women's performers in the history of the industry. It's not early anymore. So there is still some work to do with this character. The problem is, I don't see her as a heel, you know? Like, she does not strike me as a bad human. So I have a tough time seeing where the next pivot is. But again, I do think they are close, and I hope that there isn't an overreaction to it. But that was ooh boy, that was not great. Bronson Reed and Jey Uso, it never really gets going. The whole point of it is Bronson Reed hitting the tsunami after the match is done. But the highlight of it is Jey is going for a tope suicida, and Bronson Reed, not just a folding chair, Bronson Reed throws a whole-ass office chair at Jey Uso, gong, knocks him back into the ring, and then splashes his 400-pound body on that poor human. And we are to assume that Jey Uso is out for a little bit. So there is a good edge to the bronze over Brain. There is some excellent edge to these guys, and kind of creating a we run this town sort of a feel with them is a good thing. Lastly, we get just enough physicality from Goldberg and Gunther. I said I kind of wanted there to be a bit of a oh my god type of a thing from Goldberg, but it was nice to see him looking healthy, because when they started this whole thing and Goldberg was coming down to challenge Gunther, there was a bit of a hitch in the giddy-up of Goldberg. I don't know if it's just because he had some adrenaline flowing from driving into that parking lot, impeccably timed, driving into that parking lot at a rate that one should not drive into parking lots in, and then stormed his way to the ring, but he looked fine, which is basically all you needed from him. Again, I don't know what this is going to look like on Saturday. I would imagine at some point it is going to look like a match that Jim Ross would compare to a bowling shoe. But I am still fascinated by it. Goldberg, I grew up in that time, right? I'm 35 years old now. I am that wheelhouse, you know? I was yelling who's next and all those different things. So this is the nostalgia that just gets me. So they've hit it. And Gunther, God, is he amazing, right? This whole thing has been absolutely fantastic. But to Big John's point, like you said, it's going to be sad. I love Goldberg. It will be sad. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the obviously the peak of Goldberg's sadness was the match in Saudi with The Undertaker, where he kind of got knocked out and the whole thing sucked. But there was a pretty good bounce back where, like, it is weird to say, his early 50s title run was one of the saving graces of it. But honestly, like the run that he had with the title, where he surprises Kevin Owens and all that, and then goes to WrestleMania against Brock, like, that whole run was probably better than his first WWE run. So, look, maybe it can happen. But yeah, if this match goes over 10 minutes, someone fucked up in a real big way. We are here to watch Goldberg smash his head into a locker. Let's gimmick the thing, for fuck's sakes, but smash his head into a locker, do a that thing, have the pyro play, have the music going, having all of Atlanta chanting Goldberg, have him come out. Don't even pretend. Have Goldberg come out, spear, jackhammer, and then have Gunther kick out at 1. And then we have a 3-minute match after that, and then we all go home. That is what I want from this one. That's it. That's all I need after it. Gilbert run-in would be interesting. And really, that is the retirement match we should have got, right? It's not Goldberg against Gunther. Give us Goldberg-Gilberg. What are we doing here? Why are we not doing this? Give us Goldberg-Gilberg, 2 out of 3 falls, and main event anywhere in the country. So anyway, like I said, I do not have high hopes for it. I am prepared to be sad, but I am excited to see the whole Goldberg presentation, basically until the bell rings. Essentially. Conrad in the chat. So Goldberg drove like 80% of drivers getting into the Cowboys parking lot for Flames game. Yes, 100% yes. Basically, any person who has driven down 17th Avenue drove like Goldberg, where you get the motors revving and everything like that. Another question here from Conrad in the Twitch chat. This is Hunter feeling TKO pressure to end his long-term storytelling in favor of fucking AEW over. Like, the long-term storytelling, there is still some stuff there. But this is definitely where I think TKO, they just don't have the sense of any of these things right now. And so they're they are not a leave the audience wanting more. They are, we can maximize every dollar out of this thing, so let's do it. And we don't care about storytelling. We don't care about audience fatigue or anything. This is entirely about just getting every last dollar they can out of this WWE thing. And look, that is kind of what companies are supposed to do. But I do think there is an art to it when it comes to the creative process. And this is not art. This is taking a paint can, putting it in front of a canvas, and shooting that paint can with a bazooka. This is not anything to do with any of the storytelling. So it does feel very just irresponsible almost of them to do all of these events. Because again, like they had the video things up there, but coming away from this, nothing was drilled into your head. And this is the problem with doing all of these shows, is that yes, at its peak, WWE could be really repetitive with telling you, like, hey, this is what you are watching on Sunday. But by the time Sunday came, I knew that Stone Cold was facing Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon in a ladder match for the company. I knew these things. I do this every day. Watch all of these things. Have created a second podcast off of the amount that I do this. And I don't think without help I could run through the entire weekend of shows that they have. It is too much. And that is the TKO model. It is not less is more. It is more is more. And we are seeing that with the UFC, where it's like, yeah, we could like have a better television product if we put our fight nights in places with humans, or we could save some money, keep fulfilling our TV contracts, put in the Apex in front of a couple people, at least one of them might be a robot, and we'll just go from there. We'll be fine. Whatever. It is mass consumption right now of all of these things. And it sucks because they had a real kind of groove going into WrestleMania 40. And now there has been a lot of, well, we just need The Rock back, so we're just going to pop a number and do this. There's been a lot of short-term whatevers just to get as much money out of these things as possible, which I do think has led to a lot of the speculation about TKO maybe just wanting to cut bait and get out. Like, let's buy into this thing, make as much money as we can, ride this horse into the ground, and get out by the time it has hit the ground, right? Like, as soon as it kind of, boom, we're not even there for the second little dead cat bounce. We're just jumping off and running away. There is some speculation about TKO and what they want to do with the WWE, and that is a reason why, for sure. But look, I mean, this is, and we've talked about it in the AEW preview, that they're not going to catch WWE. We are not going to come out of this weekend saying, wow, the new #1 wrestling promotion in the world is AEW. There's going to be a lot of people who say that their favorite promotion is AEW, and you are certainly within your rights to do just that. But WWE has left the door open now for AEW based off of the decisions that they have made. The weirdest part about this, Conrad, is, like, as of right now, AEW has momentum, right? Like, I don't think we can question that. Maybe not a ton, but they have at least turned things around from the, oh my God, everyone hates you from a few months ago. And we'll talk about the overall health of AEW here coming up in a second, but there was no point in this when they scheduled these things. Like, when they booked All In, or sorry, when they booked Saturday night's main event to counter All In, and then All In moved to the afternoon, and they added Great American Bash on top of that, and then put Evolution on Sunday. There was no need to do that at the time, because AEW was kind of just continuously shooting themselves in the foot. And so you have just looked like the bully for no reason. You have watered down your product for no reason. And while you are doing that, you have allowed your opposition to come back in. Like, this isn't, Mick Foley's going to win their title. Huh, that's going to put butts in the seats. This isn't like a fatal mistake or anything from WWE, but it is certainly an arrogant one, and it's certainly a mistake to have loaded this whole thing up. And I think it is just drawing more people over to the AEW side. But we will see.